Welcome to Indie Authors Tell All, where independent voices take the mic. This podcast is for those engaged in or interested in independent publishing, from writing to marketing and everything in between.
We're here to shine a light on real-world challenges and successes in independent publishing, straight from the people making it happen.
Every other week, we chat with Bay Area Independent Publishers Association members and industry professionals who are shaping the future of publishing and redefining what it means to go indie.
I'm Becky Parker Geist.
I'm Judy M. Baker.
And I'm Mike Van Horn.
Real stories, real challenges, real inspiration. Now, let's dive into what it takes to write, publish, and market your book, one story at a time. Hi, I'm Becky Parker Geist. I'm so glad you're with us today here on Indie Authors Tell All. And today I have the great joy and delight of interviewing one of our BAIPA members, Carolyn C.J. Jones. Carolyn is the author of Opening the Gates of the Heart, The Art of Forgiveness, and Beyond Childhood Trauma. So Carolyn, welcome.
Hi, Becky. Thank you so much for having me.
My great pleasure. So I always, I know that many folks get very curious about the CJ in the middle of your name. So why don't you tell us about that? As I know that it's not immediately what we might assume.
No, it's not, I bet. Well, everyone thinks that CJ stands for, it's my two initials, which it is. That's correct. But it came about because back in 2010, when I first published my book, I was told that I needed to have a platform, meaning that people needed to be able to find me. So I Googled myself and I got 25 pages of Carolyn Jones, the actress. And I went, oh no, what am I going to do?
Right.
I thought I need a nickname because my parents never gave me a middle name when I was born, and I kept my maiden name when I got married.
Yeah.
The bright idea came to me to name myself after my nickname that was given to me senior year of high school after I stole the show in the musical Carousel. I was one of the leads. And my good friend said that I stole the show and called me the original Cracker Jack.
Cracker Jack, CJ.
And that's what it stands for. Here we go.
Aha. Great. That's terrific. So Cracker Jack, I love that. And so you have been a member of BAIPA for since 2010, is that right?
Yes, I took some time off in between then and now, but yeah, basically,
Yeah,
2010.
that's great. I also just want to highlight for our listeners, I think it was a really smart idea to Google your name because you realized that that could be a problem. So for authors who do have a very common name or set of names, that's a useful tool. So I wanted just to point that out. If I understand right, so you joined in 2010, and that is also when you published your first book. When you came to BAIPA, were you just published, about to publish, still trying to figure it out? What was
We're still trying to figure it out.
Okay, great. And which book was that?
Published, yeah.
Which book was that you were working on?
Opening the Gates of the Heart.
Great. You want to tell us a little bit about Opening the Gates of the Heart?
Yes, I would. It's a special book to me because I had no idea I was writing it. I had no plans to write it. I didn't want to write a book, but yet it came to me because in the winter of 2004, so like February and March of 2004, I discovered these gates in this upscale neighborhood in the Bay Area, and I photographed them. for weeks,
Yeah.
day after day, walking, photographing these gates. And that was in February and March. In November of 2004, I wrote in my journal. Oh, I journal every day. So I forgot to throw that in.
Yeah.
I have spent a lifetime spinning webs of terror and shame between the sentinels between the spires that stand as sentinels to my heart.
Wow.
I about fell off the chair, onto the floor because, first of all, that's not my normal mode of speaking.
Yeah. Poetry
And
was flowing through you, sounds like.
it really was. And I believe that's because of my left hand writing, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And
So,
so I thought, these words give voice to this photo I just took not 2 weeks ago.
oh,
Webs of
yes.
Fear.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I remember when your book came out because I remember helping you with an audio rendition of it, some aspects of it. I don't think we did it as a full audiobook, but we definitely recorded some pieces. So, yeah,
Mhm.
remember how touched I was by that, how the images and the message that went with each one. Very powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful.
Yeah.
So after I realized that that verse gave voice to the photo, I began to wonder how many other photos or verses might be available from my journals that would go with the photos.
Yeah.
So I started looking
Yeah.
through my 30-some journals, and I came across a lot of material that could be useful for verses. Three
That's
quarters of the 43 gate pictures in this book, three-quarters of them, they're verses that are verbatim from my journals.
wow. That's so interesting that you took the images that were in front of you and matched it up with really your journal over years, I would assume. Is that right? Was it over
Uh-huh.
years? Yeah. And that they blended so beautifully together.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. I was amazed. My take on it is that I was divinely guided,
Yeah.
or maybe it was divinely created.
Yes. Yeah. And so then which was your next book? Was it Beyond Childhood Trauma or The Art of Forgiveness?
The Art of Forgiveness.
Okay, great. And would you like to tell us a little bit about that book? Oh, actually,
Yeah.
before you do that, would you just show us the cover of Opening the Gates of the Heart?
Oh, yeah. That would be useful.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, and now let's go ahead and let's talk about The Art of Forgiveness.
This is The Art of Forgiveness.
Beautiful.
Fred Luskin did the foreword in this book, and he is a guru in the forgiveness world.
Yeah. And so why did you find yourself writing a book about forgiveness, do you think?
I had a difficult childhood. After I left home, I spent the next 30 years very angry and bitter, blaming everything on my childhood that didn't go right in my life. Being the victim, I was playing the victim role.
Right.
And then one day, I discovered a way to forgive my parents, because that's who my big resentment was with. And after about a year, I went back and forth between compassion, because that's how I got there in the first place. I
Mm-hmm.
felt compassion for him for my father, because I think that he had the same experiences that he then turned around and did to me, what was
Right,
done
right.
to him.
Yeah.
And I had compassion for that. Worthlessness was what I came in on, what I was focusing on, was how worthless I felt.
Mm,
And I thought, well, if he was told that too, he knows what the worthless wound feels like.
yeah.
And I have compassion for that.
Yeah.
And about after a year, I went back and forth between compassion and forgiveness, compassion and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And finally, one day, I realized I had forgiven my father and my mother.
Hmm.
Becky, the feeling of peace
Hmm.
and freedom that came over me was just tremendous,
Yeah.
tremendous. And that's why I wrote the book, because I wanted to share the message with others that, boy, forgiveness is a really strong practice to get to peace.
Right. Yeah. Even more so than I mean, I think about what it's like to feel that blame, when we feel like when we blame others, then somehow it's in the moment can feel like, well, it's not my fault, right?
Right.
It's someone else's fault. And I think fault is probably the problematic piece of that, right? Because first of all, we're giving away our own power by
Yes.
blaming others, but we're also hurting ourselves with all of that anger. And I
Yes.
just so love your book. I had the opportunity, the delight, the honor of being able to record the audiobook edition of The Art of Forgiveness, which is now available on Amplify Audiobooks. And yeah, it's such a powerful, your story is such a powerful story. And I think a real testament to the power of forgiveness, being able to get to that point. And I
Mhm.
love how you walk your reader, your listener through the steps so that you can see that it's really possible for any of us, for all of us. That is achievable by any and all of us. And that's beautiful.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that you recognize the steps to go through and that anyone can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I feel like so many I feel like it's especially apparent these days that there's so much anger, so much blame, so much
Mhm.
divisiveness. And
Yes.
we just all really need to understand that there is a path to something so much more powerful than blame and anger. And it is
Yes.
forgiveness. I love how you talk about the peace that you experienced when you got to that point. 'Cause I really feel it in, as I hear you say those words and, and see you, it's really evident.
Yes, it was definitely a wonderful experience, something I had never experienced in my life.
Yeah. Now, when you started working on this book, The Art of Forgiveness,
Uh-huh.
how did this fit into your publishing journey? Because you had now published the first book, Opening the Gates of the Heart. You were already a member of BAIPA, so you were starting to gather some additional tools and understanding and skills. Tell us a little bit about like, oh, now I'm on book 2. What that was like for you.
There was such a divide between when I wrote the Gates book, because it was published in 2010,
Hmm.
and then it was until 2018 that I published the forgiveness book. And so I hadn't followed through as well as I could have to market my Gates book. And so I just kind of added the forgiveness book to that and didn't market either one of them very well.
Mm,
That's one thing, if I might throw in, that has been really helpful from BAPA is how to market your book.
yeah. It
That's
seems
really
like,
helpful.
yeah, that seems like, I would say pretty consistently for almost all the members is the most challenging part is the marketing part.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was about another 8 years after you published the first book. Were you in BAPA during those 8 years, or did you step away for a bit?
I stepped away for a bit. I'm not
Okay.
sure how long.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't remember when I came back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, did you find that the process of recording your second book was easier or just different? Or it's a very different style of book as well. So, one is more of a narrative, the other is more poetry and images. What was your experience in terms of, did you feel more comfortable doing the second one since you'd already done it once or not?
I did feel more comfortable. Part of that is because in with the Gates book, I was so emotionally entwined with it
Mm,
because it's the original title to it is Opening the Gates of the Heart, A Journey of Healing. That's what the first edition's title is.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was about my healing, the Gates book is,
Yeah.
that I told through verses and pictures. And so when I got to the forgiveness book, it was like a whole different ball of wax that I was playing with.
Yeah. That's helpful. Thank you. Anything else that you want to share about that aspect of the publishing of the second book, as you came, as you were moving forward um, with the art of forgiveness? Things that you learned maybe from BAIPA during that period. I know that's a lot to like remember back, several years, but if there's anything that stands out to you about being that little bit more comfortable with the process or anything.
Just to get it out there.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the aspects of BAIPA meetings is we have Q&A sessions or Q&A part of the meeting where we just really, it's like crowdsourcing amongst the members with their experience in using different platforms or different ideas. Do you recall that being particularly helpful to you during that time when you were working on your second book?
It was very helpful.
Yeah.
I love the Q&A session in the BAPA meetings
Yeah.
because you can throw out a question that you have and get it answered, as well as hear responses to other people's queries. And it's all educational.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
all educational.
Absolutely is. Carolyn, let's just take a short pause and then we're going to come right back. And I want to ask you more about your third book.
Okay.
As an author, you know that writing a book is not easy, and that publishing and promoting it can be even harder. Wish you had fellow authors and professionals you could learn from who would give you encouragement and guidance to get through the tough spots? That's what we offer at the Bay Area Independent Publishers Association, or BAIPA. We're a volunteer-run educational community dedicated to elevating the art and the business of independent publishing. Not in the San Francisco Bay Area? No worries. We have members from all over, and we meet monthly on Zoom. For just $10 a month, you get full membership benefits. Whether you're writing your next novel or children's book, launching a nonfiction book, building your author brand, or working with indie authors, BAIPA gives you the tools and the network to publish smarter, grow faster, and thrive independently. Visit BAIPA.org. That's BAIPA.org and join us today. Become part of a community that understands all the challenges of indie publishing and helps you get through them.
Okay, so Carolyn, let's talk about your third book, Beyond Childhood Trauma. Am I right that that's a memoir?
That is a memoir.
Great. And how does it compare with The Art of Forgiveness, which is also your story? Are they different parts of your story or different aspects? Tell me how they differ.
They're actually very much alike,
Hmm.
more than they differ, but they do differ.
Mm-hmm.
The memoir is I go into more detail speaking to the reader and posing questions, posing solutions.
Yeah.
So that's how that's a little bit different than the forgiveness book.
Were you finding that, or even just as you were considering your own material, were you either getting responses from people who were looking for that kind of deeper level or more help in the forgiveness process? Or did it really come out of a place of, oh, I have more ideas about ways that I could help people move towards forgiveness? What
That's
motivated that?
the latter,
Okay. Yeah.
that I could help people.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Um, I think
Thank you.
that's one of the things that I feel is so powerful about books and what people are writing. It is that we are, for the most part, doing it out of this desire to help other people. Whether we're answering questions that people keep asking, or whether we're providing an entertainment that is helping people in whatever they need. That's one of the things I love about it.
Yes.
And what's one thing that people might learn from reading Beyond Childhood Trauma?
That you can get through it, that
Mhm.
there are steps you can take, actually. It's all part of my yippee method. Now, I define this in the forgiveness book, but I'm going to go through it again in the memoir because I'm going to go a little bit more deeply into it.
Great. Yeah. And that's
But
really that Yippee method. That's really a step by step moving towards forgiveness. Is that right?
that's right.
Beautiful. Yeah. So let me ask you a few other things, more specifically about your experience with BAIPA. Um, so you've been a member, stepped away for a bit, but came back and are a current member now. And what would you say is just maybe one thing that you wish you had known before, earlier, before you actually went through the publishing process, that you learned at BAIPA, or something, or it could be something that some skill or information that you gained as a result of being part of BAIPA that was really significant for you?
I learned more about I didn't know anything really about how to form the book,
Hmm.
how to place things in the book. And I learned where to place things in the book, how to make the book up,
Mm-hmm.
create it,
Mm-hmm.
how to create it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, that's like very foundational, right, to the whole process. And if you were talking with someone, a writer or someone else involved in the indie publishing world that didn't know about BAPA yet, but what might you tell them?
well, first I'd say you've got to go. I would tell them that there's a resource out there that they can utilize that will help them publish their book and then promote it as time goes on. So it's not like you publish it and then you leave it there and it's going to take off on its own.
Right.
That's not how it works. Now that's how I thought it worked with my Gates book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That is very true. I think it really, a lot of us as authors come into the initial first publishing with unrealistic expectations about what might happen if we just do this one thing. But those of us who I think stay with it and continue on the journey, discover there are a lot of rewards, personal rewards to the experience, and a lot of growth that happens as a result of the experience. But
yes.
it's not all going to show up in suddenly you're discovered and you've got millions of dollars flowing in royalties. That's, yeah, I think it's more rewarding if we just understand that while great success, whatever that's defined as, may come your way, that
Right.
maybe isn't necessarily the greatest value or the biggest point, or even a goal that you want to make top priority necessarily. Depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah. Becky, I found from writing, especially what I've written thus far in the Beyond Childhood drama, is and the subtitle for that is a memoir of transformation to forgiveness, peace, and healing.
Mm.
And so what I found was by writing, I'm doing more healing.
Yeah.
As the
Nice.
memories come up, and I've moved past the point of getting really upset about things that occurred
Yeah.
and look at things from a totally different viewpoint. Like what else was going on at the time? What was going on with that other person that perhaps I have a resentment against?
Yeah.
So, yeah, very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let our listeners know what your website is so they can follow you and keep up with what's coming up next for you.
Yes, please do. The website has just been redone, so I'm really pleased with it.
Great.
I
Eh,
switched over from being a speaker and a coach to being an author and selling my books. So that's what the whole website is geared around now.
Great. And that's Carolyn C.J.
Carolyn
Jones.
CJ Jones.com.
Great. Great. That's great. Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners today, either about BAIPA or about your books or yourself?
BAIPA has been a lifesaver for me. It truly has. And so I appreciate you and everyone else who has been holding it together all these years. Not holding it together, really, that's the wrong expression for it, but who have put your time and effort and energy into it to make it useful to other people like me who are just coming for the first time, maybe, or a first book, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure.
And
Yeah.
good. And I've learned about myself that if I slow down and let things happen, they often happen more beautifully than I could have planned.
Mm, beautiful. That's a great thought to end with. So I want to thank you so much for being here. Just a reminder to our listeners, Carolyn's website is carolyncjjones.com, and you can get her audiobook on amplifyaudiobooks.com. So, Carolyn, thank you so much for spending this time with me today.
Oh, Becky, thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone, and I hope you'll join us on our next episode of Indie Authors Tell All.
Thanks for listening to Indie Authors Tell All, a podcast from the Bay Area Independent Publishers Association.
Be sure to subscribe so you never miss our bi-weekly conversations with authors, publishers, and experts who keep indie publishing vibrant.
You can learn more and join our community at BAIPA.org. That's BAIPA.org. You don't have to live in the Bay Area to join us, since we're live on Zoom for all our events. You can email your questions and feedback to us at podcast@BAIPA.org. That's podcast@BAIPA.org. Thanks so much for joining us on the Indie Authors Tell All podcast.